Hello, I'm Jeffrey Drury and this is my video for Module 2. I searched the JSTOR database using the search term Louisiana military history and concentrated on articles about the military history of Louisiana in the 19th century. This is a particular interest of mine and I was happy to find many great articles for research, and most concerned the Civil War in Louisiana, but I branched out a bit. I concentrated on 3 articles in particular, one concerning the antebellum period, one about the Civil War, and the last about the postbellum period in the area. The first was Leonard K. Eaton's article, Military Medicine on the Louisiana Frontier, a letter of Melina's Conklin Leavenworth to Dr. Eli Todd in the Bulletin of the History of Medicine. Dr. Leavenworth served with the American Army in southwest Louisiana during the 1830s. This is traditionally a buffer area between the U.S. and Spain. Leavenworth had graduated from Yale Medical School in 1817 and traveled extensively around the South and the Southwest, eventually joining the U.S. Army. The article was based on a letter he wrote to a friend about his experiences and the natural history in the area where he was stationed in present-day Nacogdoches, Louisiana, which is the oldest town in the state, not New Orleans. Primary sources were the basis of the article with added background about the area and the nature of medicine at the time when the author was in the area. Most of the content consisted of the doctor's letter to his friend, and the conclusions would show that malaria and eye ailments were the biggest problems faced by the Army, and descriptions of how the doctor treated this and other ailments. But he also wrote about the flora and fauna he encountered. He used a lot of natural remedies in his treatment, and he was an accomplished botanist. The next article concerned military engagements in Louisiana during the Civil War. Military events in Louisiana during the Civil War, 1861 to 1865, by Alan J. Jones in Louisiana History, the Journal of the Louisiana Historical Association. Jones lists every military event known to have occurred in the state during the war. I consider this to be statistical history since he lists by date and location the military events of the war and provides descriptions of how he classified each event, whether a battle, a siege, engagement, and so forth. It's not fascinating reading, but it's a valuable source for those researching the Civil War in Louisiana. Conclusions that I drew are that there were many more military engagements in Louisiana than one would guess by looking at the library shelves or even performing a simple Google search. And most of the action took place outside of New Orleans. Finally, I looked at Michael J. Wade's I'd Rather Be Among the Comanches, the military occupation of Southwest Louisiana, 1865. It's in the Louisiana History, the Journal of the Louisiana Historical Association. Wade describes the challenges of Union soldiers performing occupation duties in South Central Louisiana after the war. Most of these men were based in and around New Iberia, the center of Cajun Louisiana. One young officer found the problems bringing order so difficult that he declared he'd rather be among the Comanches than the Acadians of Louisiana. The article relied heavily on primary sources in the forms of letters, reports, and journals kept by the soldiers in documenting their experiences. Wade explains the conditions and the problems and then uses primary sources to kind of illustrate the situation of the time. His conclusion is that it was difficult duty due to geography, crossing rivers and bayous, resentment and culture. Some of the plantation owners were still French citizens and did not recognize the authority of the U.S. Army. Additionally, some of the occupation troops were African American, and there was a very often friction between white and black individuals and groups in the area of occupation. Thank you for watching this video. I look forward to reading your comments, and may the Lord bless you.